In this episode of Beast Legends, the team searches for the origins of one of the most iconic beasts of all time.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is amazing, isn't it?
Their investigation spreads across the globe as they look to the skies.
There you go.
It's coming.
And to the plains. They hunt for evidence of the Griffin.
What if it's more aerodynamic?
A hybrid monster that ate men alive. Stories of terrifying monsters are told the world over. Some are myths, but others are believed to be real. Now a team of investigators will track down clues and find evidence for the beast behind the legend. The quest to build the creature, bring it to life, and unleash it on the modern world.
It doesn't look like Griffin territory, does it really?
Steve and Francis are on the ground in Germany, hunting for the bones of a monstrous creature.
So, lots of cool stuff to work with here.
The rest of the team are in the Beast Lab to investigate the source of the legend.
So the griffin, a symbol we all recognize from medieval Europe, heraldry and stuff like that, but it's actually really cool because it's way older than that.
Let's check this out.
In a mysterious eastern land, where mountains are seamed with gold, a flying terror guards its riches. Nomads who live here fear the beast, but they long for treasure and pay for it with their lives. Fear from above, an awesome fusion. King of the land and lord of the sky. It is the Griffin. This story has inspired the team to imagine what this beast might be and to bring it to virtual life.
So the griffin tracks back through the Greeks, which is, one area where it shows up a lot in the art, but it goes back even further than that, several centuries BC in Mesopotamia, and then tracked out through the Scythians in particular to Central Asia, the Mongolian area, particularly the Altai.
Well, I think what we should do is basically break it into two parts. I mean, we've obviously got the eagle in the front and the lion in the back.
Yeah.
And, both of these are basically predatory. One thing we could do is begin our model with a cave lion. I mean, there aren't lions in Mongolia today, but there were cave lions, that went extinct 10,000 years ago.
Really?
And in fact, cave lions might actually be a really good model for the back end of our griffin. In fact, the very first bones of a cave lion were found in a cave in Germany, Zulithan Cave. And Steve and Francis are checking it out.
Perfect.
So Francis and I are deep in central Germany on a quest to figure out the body size of our griffin. Next stop, Zulithan Cave.
Why is it all locked up? Why is there a door?
We need to close the doors, so just permitted persons have access to this.
This cave is locked up for the safety of the public. It's a very deep maze of chambers protected by scientists because its walls hold valuable secrets from the past. 200 years ago, nobody even knew that giant prehistoric lions existed. And then a German paleontologist had the guts to venture in here and discovered the skull of a massive, vicious-looking cat. He named it the cave lion, a perfect candidate for the body of our griffin.
So I take it in the Ice Age, the lions would have got in without this amount of trouble.
Oh, there was other trouble inside.
For the past 5 years, Dr. Cages Diedrich has been researching cave lions and their prey.
The lions were maybe hunting the cave bears because it was easy food. Imagine they were hibernating, they were sleeping during winter, or nearly sleeping. So carp would have been easy food or easy prey for a lion.
This is not going to be an easy cave to navigate. Our hope is to find some undiscovered cave lion bones in here to help us determine the size of our griffin. But we may be dreaming. The bones are over 10,000 years old, It's slippery, it's dark, it's wet, and 90 meters deep. And to boot, most of the bones in here probably won't even be lion bones.
Only 1% of all the bones ever found here were lion bones. The rest was mainly cave bear.
So that 1% lion, that's
It's
the
only
one
here.
guy that failed to finish the kill then.
Exactly.
For thousands of years, bears came in here looking for a safe place to hibernate, and then the cave lions followed to hunt them. They were such efficient and vicious predators that they almost always won, which is why there aren't many lion bones found in here, unless you are very lucky.
That's boned, isn't it? Is that bone?
There are plenty of bones sticking in the wall.
Here's one.
There's one, exactly. This is a bone of a cave bear.
That's crazy. That's so cool though, how they're all just part of the cave now, yeah.
Love the bear bones, but we want lion bones. Better press on.
I'm starting to feel claustrophobic. We're slipping through some incredibly tight crevices. Just recently, someone got stuck in here and had to be pried out. Good thing we skipped lunch.
That's it. Now lean well back. Perfect. There we go. Oh yeah, that's it. Just keep doing that. Occasionally look where you're going.
At about 30 meters down, we find ourselves in one of the larger chambers. And we can't help but stop to imagine the vicious Ice Age battles that would have taken place in here in the dark.
It just is awesome with these huge lions, because they're bigger than normal lions, and massive bears. If we turn our torches off and see how dark it is.
All right.
Okay. There.
Whoa.
Yeah. Now you're lying in the dark.
See that you can't see anything.
You can't see anything. But you know, you'll be lying there in the dark, and then you can smell. And that's it. Maybe that's all you'd hear, is the sniffing of the predator getting closer and closer. You can smell the lion's presence, and the next thing you know is you feel its breath on your face. Yeah.
It's like a ninja.
Yeah.
Yeah, before you know it, you're dead. I'm just gonna have a seat here and start doodling.
Cool.
The atmosphere and vibe of this cave is inspiring me to create a drawing of a cave lion to send back to the Beast Lab. I kind of want to pick and choose what I think is really cool.
Yeah, well, you can. You can have whatever aspect you want for that body of the griffin, yeah.
Right.
I think if you can draw us a line, if you can get us, you know, and then we can choose, just draw the whole line, forget about the head and the wings and all that sort of stuff, and then we'll basically give it to the guys and see which bits they think they want to.
Yeah.
There's the battle.
There is the battle, yeah.
All right.
I think I got their scale in relation from lion to bear, but I want to get the scale of lion to me. We need to go in deeper to see if we can find lion bones.
After 4 hours, we're 60 meters down, and so far, nothing but bear bones.
I can't see.
Just when we were about to give up, Cajus hits the jackpot.
Whoa. So, what are these?
They were all of lion.
So these aren't bear bones?
No, lions. So, from the front leg, the big.
Oh yeah, the humerus. Yeah.
The leg, the femur bone.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is amazing, isn't it?
This rare find is more than we could ever have expected. And exactly what we need to figure out the scale of our griffin.
And even a rib. The hand and finger bones.
Which?
There's a very massive ones. They are from
Oh,
the
there's the
middle.
metacarpal.
Metacarpus and metatarsal bones.
Look at the size of it.
Yeah.
Mine will be about the thickness of my finger, there basically, and look at the size of it.
This is perfect. We can use the dimensions of these paw bones to take back to the Beast Lab and calculate the body size of our griffin.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, just by studying more the lion behavior, and we can incorporate that with the way eagles hunt, I mean, we pretty much have like the ultimate hunting machine.
Yeah, we've got a cat that flies. Cool.
With a drawing and scale calculations in hand, it's back to the Beast Lab. Now all we have to do is remember which way is out. Francis and I are leaving Germany, having made it out of the Zulithan cave alive. And we have in our hands the clues to build the back half of our Griffin. Although it's thousands of years old, the Griffin hit its heyday in medieval times. In the 14th century, it was still thought to be a real animal that existed in far-off lands to the east. A well-known travel writer described the winged lion this way: "One Griffin hath the body more great and is more strong than 8 lions." So we've decided to divide and conquer. I'm going to the far east to investigate the eagle half of the Griffin, wings, chest and head. Francis is bringing our cave lion evidence back to the Beast Lab.
I have the dimensions of a cave lion, and it's about 10.5 foot long, 4.3 in the length of the tail, and about 5 foot tall from floor to shoulder.
Are you serious?
So this thing's pretty huge. This is pretty much done. It looks all right, but check this out. So if I lie down right beside it, remember, feet to shoulder is 5 foot.
Yeah.
So that's not like counting the height with the head.
No.
So I'm like right in its mouth territory.
I think you'd be a nice small snack for that.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So this is pretty much the perfect size for a lion's body going onto a griffin. You know, it's freaking huge.
Yeah.
All right, this is perfect. I think I can just scale up this beast.
You know, I just wanted to make a couple measurements. I'm just curious about some of the dimensions here.
Whoa. What the hell are you doing?
There, I think that looks a little better, don't you think?
It looked better before.
No, you know, now we just need to find out about the head.
The first written accounts of griffins appear in a Greek poem from the 7th century BC. It tells the tale of a tribe of one-eyed people called the Arimaspians, who battled beasts that were half lion, half eagle, over deposits of gold. All this was said to have happened in a land known as Scythia. Scythia spread all across Asia, from the Black Sea to the Altai Mountains, a mountain range said to be lined with gold. And so that's my destination, the very place where griffins were said to do battles with horsemen, Western Mongolia. My mission? To figure out which species of eagle would be a good pick for the front half of our griffin. There are 9 species currently in Mongolia, so the only way to find out is to go and meet the nomads who live here and hunt with them. I doubt my standard phrasebook covers griffins, so I'm going to need a little help.
Hello. Hi, I'm Steve.
Venus.
So nice to meet you. I love the Jeep. This is great.
I've been to a lot of places, but never anywhere as remote as this. We're headed up into the mountains that are 1,700 meters above sea level, and we're 3 hours drive away from the nearest town.
But it's super flat.
It's so desolate and cold, there are almost no trees here. But this is where I need to go to see eagles in action. Venus has taken me to meet one of the most highly respected eagle hunters in the area. It's a skill that's been passed down from father to son in his family for centuries.
Oh, that is cool. Oh, look at the size of that bird. Wow. Hello.
Oh.
How are you?
Қалайсыз, жақсысыз ба дейді. Ем жоқ, менің атым мана.
Does the eagle have a name?
Tırnek.
Tırnek. What does that mean?
A 2-year-old eagle is called tırnek.
Tırnek. Okay. Very good. It's a beautiful looking bird. Yeah.
Yes.
Now this is a very strange relationship, man and bird, because it's not a pet bird. It doesn't love you. It just hunts because it's hungry, doesn't it? If they get too heavy, they'll just fly away. So.
Yeah, but you know, there's a kind of relationship between the trainer and the eagle.
Okay.
Yes. So mostly they don't fly away. They come back to their trainers.
That's very good.
Yeah.
The golden eagle looks like a perfect species for our griffin. It's one of the largest apex predators in the air, so it will match the power of the cave lion. It can survive in this harsh climate, and not only does it look the part, but historically it makes perfect sense. This eagle has been around for thousands of years. It intersected in these mountains with both cave lions and humans. I smell griffin.
Okay, let's check out the footage that Steve uploaded.
It's perfect.
There's a lot of character in the face.
So, a headectomy.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna put a bird head in its place now here.
No.
It's like a pigeon.
It's hilarious. Look, this is what we're aiming for, guys. You've got this amazing golden eagle. It's got this raptorial beak. Look at the hook on that thing. This is something that's built for predation, so.
The beak could be a little sharper. Even the bottom one, it's kind of rounded. Yeah, this is off to a good start. It's the perfect head for a griffin body.
Now that we've figured out the head, the question is how this affects the behavior of our beast. The next step is to see an eagle in action so we can figure out how our griffin would hunt. In winter, prey is scarce. Our hope is that the eagle will spot a stray rabbit or fox moving amongst the rocks and snow. How they manage to survive in these mountains is mind-boggling. But right now at 30 below, as I start an icy incline on horseback, I'm a little preoccupied with my own survival. I'm in Mongolia with a band of Kazakh nomads on a quest to nail down the hunting habits of a griffin by watching a golden eagle track down prey here. I should get some great clues to help us build our beast, but it's not going according to plan. We've been at this for hours and so far nothing. So the hunters are keeping the eagle's instinct sharp by practicing with dead animals on a string.
They want to call their birds as a preparation for hunting. They want to check if their birds are ready or not for hunting. So they will use meat or fur, and one will stay with the bird on the top, and another person will call, the hunter will call his bird.
So they're going to fly them to it? Oh, okay. So they're getting quite a height up there.
Yeah, as high as possible.
Here's how it works. The hunters split up so the guys at the base of the mountains can scare prey out from behind the rocks. The guys who make their way to the top of the mountain will then release the eagle. In training, a lure is thrown onto the ground and the eagle attacks it.
You'd see any prey from here moving as soon as you get it flushed out. What a great command post. I could totally see how this would work. For the griffin, this is great.
Golden eagles make such awesome predators because of their eyes. They can spot moving prey from 1,000 feet up and 1 mile away.
We're going to talk about eyes now, okay, because that's going to be an important part of the beast, because obviously the eagle hunts by sight. So let's take a look at some eagle eyes. If we're going to sort of do a point of view of this thing, you've got to have an understanding of exactly how eagles' eyes work. Oh, you might have just seen that there, a quick flicker of the third eyelid. Most mammals, reptiles and birds have 3 eyelids. It's translucent. They can actually see through it, but it flicks across the eye.
very, very quickly. So cleans the eye, keeps it moist, and it means that they can blink very quickly and not miss much. There is this theory about eagle's eyes that the center part is actually magnified, so they can scan with the peripheral part of their vision, but the center sort of real focus point is actually magnified. Now also look at the size of the eye compared to the head. If we had eyes that big, they'd be enormous. Well, that's exactly what we want our griffin to do. We want it to scan, look for the slightest movement, something catches its eye, bang, focus in on it, and then wallop, straight down in and get it.
That's pretty good.
Phenomenal. You know what part of it is, right, is predators have binocular vision. So, I mean, the eyes are more forward set so that they've got the depth perception that they need to hunt, to strike something in really accurately in 3 dimensions, as opposed to how you've got it there, which is more eyes on the side of the head, which is how prey animals have it. Yeah. So you got to move it forward.
Something like this?
Yeah, see, it's looking meaner.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, it looks almost as if, like, our eyes is, like, maybe the size of ping pong balls, and the eagle eyes looks like they're the size of, like, you know, billiard balls.
Yeah. Of course, most of the size is inside the skull, but Steve was absolutely right. I mean, what you see is just the very tip of the eye, but boy, it's the orbit inside the skull is just huge.
Right.
I mean, you can even see the difference here. I mean, you can see that the eagle's eye proportionally is much bigger than the human eye. There we go.
Okay. Well, you know what it needs now, don't you? Ears.
Ears on an eagle?
Combining the insane eyesight that it has with maybe a bit of hearing, this thing is going to be off the hook in the air.
The legend says it's got ears, so I'm sorry, it has to happen.
Well, what kind of ears are we going to put on it?
That's a good question.
Well, I mean, I think what we're going to have to do is look at real lion ears.
The griffin's ears are one of the features that make it instantly recognizable. Imagery of griffins over the centuries gives the beast a variety of ear shapes. Some are long like a horse, others pointy like a dog, and still others are cat-like.
I think it would be wicked to give our griffin the ears of a lion. We're making an eagle-lion hybrid, so it seems perfect to me. But I can't draw it without seeing a real lion. So Scott's found the perfect place for some artistic inspiration, Jungle Cat World. Yeah, you know, now that I'm here, I'm not really feeling these ears.
Unlike lions, this griffin is actually flying through the air.
Yeah.
And to have ears flapping around as you're flying, it doesn't make much sense. Birds don't have these external ears. They have excellent hearing.
Yeah, I think you're right. We're gonna have to figure something else out for our griffin ears.
So what if it's more aerodynamic and it swoops down like this?
That seems much better.
Right?
That
now,
seems much better
it's not typically how it's been portrayed, but I think it would make more sense.
Is this the inside of the ear right there?
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe something like this.
Right.
You know, you got like the cartilage
That
there.
makes much more
but
sense.
I don't know if it would be more
that makes
furry
much more
for
sense.
wind resistance.
But that looks great. That looks really good. Now,
Probably transition around here, right?
I think this really captures it, especially.
It creates more of a synchronicity with the overall thing, because if it didn't have the ear, it would just look like an eagle head on the lion's body. I think the ears is what pulls it together. Aesthetically, it's the thing that's balancing it out. You know, it's like a spoiler on a car.
I mean,
right?
it certainly makes it look like something that you've never seen before.
Well, that's what we're all looking for,
Yeah,
right?
well, no,
we're not looking for something that we've seen.
So what do you think? Can you do it?
I think I'm gonna throw some ears on here.
Mm-hmm.
But I like how he did them like this. It's not really the same as something we've seen before.
No, exactly. Like, it's the same principle as the external ears that a lion would have, but they're not lion ears, because this thing flies. This is good, too, because in the legend, I mean, the griffin always has these ears. Makes it look fierce, too. I like it.
See, now this is looking much more like all these images you see of griffins swooping through the air.
Exactly.
Ears are pretty much a constant, but when it comes to griffin legs, artist renditions have flip-flopped back and forth in design for centuries. Some griffins have 4 lion paws, Others have the front talons of an eagle and the back legs of a lion. The question is, how will we design our griffin? The answer lies in the vicious way an eagle attacks.
Oh, yes!
I'm in Mongolia to find out how much of our griffin is made up of golden eagle.
It's coming.
That's quick.
We've given it the head of a golden eagle, but what about the front legs? Do we go with the lion's claws or the eagle's talons? To me, the answer is obvious.
Unbelievable. That was spectacular.
This is not only a brilliant design, the talons also provide an ideal method of attack for the griffin.
I think people probably perceive aerial predators to drop directly on to prey, but what our bird does, what eagles do, is they use the contours of the cliff, because a black bird against a white sky, you're going to see it really easily. So they camouflage themselves over the rocks and they hit their prey horizontally at speed. So if we're getting a point of view of our griffin, it's going to be coming in. If it spots somebody on a horse, it's going to be hitting them side on, boom, as it skims over the ground, and then talons come forward and wallop, it hits them really horizontally. And that's what we should be seeing our animal do. That will look a lot more natural than just landing splat on top. Yeah, that's an interesting behavior as well. But it's the posturing after it's landed. I think that's one of the things that we'll really have to nail. Wings really flared, making itself look as big, as imposing as possible. Well done, well done. That was amazing.
Okay, nature seems to have come up with a really good design for what our griffin needs. So we need eagle legs for the front. Can you do it?
For sure.
Okay. It's starting to look like a real griffin. Oh my goodness, look at that.
It comes in beside a horse from the side. If it swoops in with these massive talons, and it just comes in and grabs them.
So when it's swooping in from the side like that, I mean, it's really interesting because when it flies, the legs are pulled right up, and then did you see it was just at the last minute that it pushes them out. It brings into question, of course, the back legs.
Well, I think, you know, when a cat's lying down, how the legs kind of fold up nice and neat? Imagine just, maybe you can pull it up and just relax them back behind it.
You're right, it must be doing that in flight because, I mean, it can't be flying, right, with the hind legs dangling behind it. When you think about the back legs of a lion, part of what they use those for, I mean, they sometimes try to pin the prey with the front of the body, and then they use the back to, you know, disembowel the prey, essentially. But if this had those kinds of lion claws, those would also be formidable weapons as it was coming in from the side to attack its prey. So you've got the grasping claws in the front, and then you've got the ripping claws in the back. So we need claws.
I like the sound of this.
Those are pretty good.
There we go.
I like it. Nice.
All right, so here it is in flight.
Oh, nice, okay.
You know, the wings, like, it's really out there to get that gliding.
Well, and just the legs just stretching forward. That's good, I like that. Okay, the attack, nice. I would not want to be on the receiving end of that. That's incredible.
So the griffin has its prey. Now what?
Look at the feeding as well. We probably won't get a chance to see feeding as good as this. So yeah, beaks used as a dissection tool. Talons just grasping. They're only really for killing. And then it's holding it really firm, and then the beak is just pulling the bits of meat out from between its toes. This is what you want to get the griffin to do. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. That's better. That's what we want to hear. Sinews being torn. And that's, oh, hang on. You got, oh, fair dues. And maybe the odd thigh bone just disappearing down the neck. The acid in the stomach of most of these animals is phenomenal. Oh, that's it. That's the head bob as the swallow. Flicking it, and just trying to swallow that down into its gizzard. Excellent. Well, I hope you can use that. That should be good stuff.
This golden eagle has given us the head and front legs. But since the back end is a lion, we need to know how big to make the wings. You know, with wings this size, this thing's unlikely to get off the ground. I mean, especially if you imagine that the backside of this griffin has mammalian-type bones compared to bird bones, which are essentially hollow. I mean, even if this thing had entirely hollow bones, we're still going to have to make the wings a lot bigger.
And when you consider as well, I mean, the size of the prey that it's supposed to be able to lift, because what the legends say is they would swoop down and pick up horses. So we have to add that into our calculations, essentially.
And I don't think horses had hollow bones.
No. So, yeah, those wings definitely need to be a lot bigger, but again, the question is exactly how much bigger.
Where are we going to find the right kind of horses?
That's a good question.
Going somewhere cold?
I'm off to Mongolia.
Steve and I are meeting up to track down a rare breed of horse that might be just the right size for griffin prey.
We're meeting in Ulaanbaatar, the capital city of Mongolia. The temperature has dropped to -35, which could get interesting since our plans involve tracking down wild animals on the open plains. An 11th century bishop described the griffin as living in the mountains of the extreme north, being hostile to horses and men, and having the strength to carry off a horse and its rider. So our next mission is to figure out the wingspan of our griffin, and that hinges on it being able to pick up a horse, a Mongolian horse.
Hey, Scott.
How are you, Steve?
I'm freezing.
Good to see you. Oh, my goodness.
Man, is it cold.
That horse is really impressive up there.
Yeah, it's quite a beast, isn't it? But either it's a small horse or a big man. It's
That's right.
Yeah, it's not a big, massive beast, is it? So yeah. But obviously, griffin bait, that's you know, a massive part of this myth, isn't it?
That is griffin chow for sure.
Yeah, which is obviously why it's an ideal place to come to. Maybe not in December.
We are headed to a sanctuary just outside Ulaanbaatar to see some of the world's last truly wild horses. An ancient breed of Mongolian horse called a Przewalski horse, brought back from the brink of extinction.
You know, to be actually able to see them, I'm really, really looking forward to that.
Yeah, they are so iconically Mongolian and tied to this landscape.
Yeah.
So, you know, they are a real sort of talisman for Mongolia. It's great that they've been able to, you know, to save them.
These are the last wild horses on the planet, essentially. Finally, we're entering this park. Not much signage, not like Yellowstone or...
No, exactly. We didn't even have to pay. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
This species of horse is the perfect candidate to calculate the scale of our beast. They were romping around the Altai Mountains at the same time as both cave lions and golden eagles. The plan is to try and find one and then calculate how big the wingspan of our griffin would need to be to lift one up. The problem is the park is more than 500 square kilometers and there are only a couple of hundred horses, so it's a tall order.
We haven't got that much light left. The sun's quite low now, so we've got to hopefully come across them fairly soon.
Hours later, Steve finally spots something in the distance.
Oh, wait, there's one. Oh,
yeah. Stop. We've got Przewalski horses there. It's definitely them. Look at the sandy brown colour.
Oh, look at that. Up on
it's
the
a
hillside.
very, very different, very different look. Let's just move this slightly further away. This is possibly one of the rarest mammals that I've been this close to,
It's pretty rare. No predator could surprise these guys completely.
Yeah,
I mean, you can surprise them a little bit, but in the end, it's going to be a question of speed.
Yeah. Even though his head, you see, the weird thing is, even though his head looks like it's looking away, he's looking straight at us. He can scan that far around, yeah. Oh, bit of a snort.
You see that?
Yeah.
He snorted.
This species is built really differently from your average thoroughbred. They're stocky and very short. They stand about 1.5 meters high and weigh about 270 kilos.
So these guys are
are each about 270 kilos.
Yeah, that's a lot of weight.
That's a lot of weight if you're going to carry it away.
We should be able to work out a wingspan.
As a biologist, it was important that I see these rare horses in person to judge their weight, girth, and size.
A good day.
The last shot?
Yeah, that's a good day.
I figured that to lift a Przewalski horse, plus the weight of its own body, the Griffin would need a wingspan of about 7.5 meters. That should do it.
All right, so I think they pretty much nailed it. 25 feet for the wingspan, that should be more than enough to carry a horse.
All right, let's make these wings bigger.
Let's do it.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so now it has that capacity to lift a horse, but where does it take it? Where does it go with it? Where does it go to sleep at night?
I want to find an eagle's nest as inspiration for the home of a griffin, but it's not exactly the best time of year for it. I know just the group of people to help me. Mana the eagle hunter and his extended family.
Wow. Quite a place up at the head of the table. Is it fresh?
No, it's fermented. Yeah.
Oh, tangy. Is this a common drink? This is a...
No, it's kind of special, but it comes...
That's good. Now, we'd really love to see an eagle's nest because the animal that we're trying to build, or we're trying to sort of imagine would live here, obviously would live in a nest as well. Do they know the nest near here?
Yeah, they know a few nests around here, so if possible, they want to, get us to the closest one.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's very much appreciated. It tastes unlike anything I've tasted before.
As we continue to drink, I swear I can hear strange noises coming from outside the camp. But maybe it's just the fermented milk. The next morning, in the company of Mana and an expert rock climber, we locate an eagle's nest high on a cliff.
Well, yeah, we're well short of the nest. Now, I can still see it from here, but it goes to show why the eagles build it there, because it's not an easy thing to get to for a predator at all.
But we quickly discover that the winter weather has made the nest impossible to get to, because the rocks are too brittle.
Well, I reckon if we start about here...
So we're going to do the next best thing.
Pile those up there.
And I'm pretty sure it's never been done before. I've returned to the family of eagle hunters for help building the home of a griffin. Using the materials of an eagle's nest as a guide and our newly calculated griffin size, we're going to make a full-size model of a griffin nest for the Beast Lab to use.
There's going to be a big... That's looking good. That's looking really good. So wool would be obviously abundant, not only from just finding around the place, but also their prey potentially. But the one difference between the eagle and the griffin is gold. Do they have any gold that we can put into this into this nest? Lying around, big lumps of it. There we go. And that is going to sit. There we go. That's a brilliant, brilliant job. Rachmer.
Do we need to bulk it up a little bit? This is kind of flat. It's better?
A lot better. I mean, that looked like it took a whole tree just to make. Yeah.
It's too bad they didn't throw any gold in it, eh?
It's too bad. We have to leave something to the griffin, though.
Rahmet.
Rahmet.
Rahmet. And if that egg hatches, tell them just to run away. Okay, let's get on the road.
Now we have everything we need to put the finishing touches on our griffin. We know how it hunts, flies, and where it brings its prey. We have every last detail in place from talon to tail. So it's goodbye Mongolia, we've got a beast movie to watch.
За би чамд үсэдэ.
I love that it tucked its back legs back there, so when it's flying, all you could really see are the talons.
That's right. Well, it's a lion trying to be aerodynamic.
Given the fact that people believed these things existed, I think that's exactly what they would have seen.
The key to building this beast...
That was spectacular.
Figuring out how much our griffin is eagle and how much is lion. By giving it oversized wings, razor-sharp talons, and the back end of a cave lion, we've got ourselves a beast legend.